we're in an energy crisis. I mean, Riley said this many times, more and more electricity that we're using. The fossil fuels and where we've been getting our electricity, that's not forever. So we need another cleaner source of power. So solar makes complete sense. Solar has opened so many doors for me and definitely changed my life and my family's life. And there's no other company I'd be at other than Boundless.
All right, ladies and gents, great to be here with you all today. Welcome back to The Signal. My name is Riley Traveler. I'm here with Mark Featherstone, co-hosting with me today. Good to see you, Mark.
Good to see you too, Riley.
Very matchy. Very matchy today.
For sure.
And then we're also sitting here with somebody who I hold in the highest of regards. He's laughing right now because I joke around a lot, but I'm not joking at all when I say this. Steve Dyment is here to my left. Steve Dyment is, in my humble opinion, the greatest solar salesperson in the United States.
I agree.
Steve Dyment has over 1,000 solar installs under his belt.
Not quite, but...
Oh, I'm sorry. First of all, dude,
Sniffing it. He's getting close.
Getting close. Creeping.
If I exaggerate on your accolades a tiny bit...
Do you actually know the number?
It's like 930 something.
930.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're going to eclipse 1,000 in the next 6 to 12 months.
Yeah.
12 if you lighten up a little bit, 6 if you step on the gas. But so this is Steve Dyment, an industry veteran, nearly 1,000 installs under his belt, 930 something because he's so precise. And this is just how he is. This is how he is with his business. This is why he has so many installs. He doesn't let the little things slip. But above that, just my quick plug is this: Steve Dyment is not only one of the greatest salespeople in the solar space, but frankly, like the best guy to work with. I've worked with Steve for many, many years, and Steve, you're just like, you're an absolute prize, dude. So I love working with you. I love being around you, and your results are just impressive to say the least.
Yeah,
so thanks for being
I
here.
I love working with you guys. That's why I'm here. Yeah.
Thanks, dude. And listen, I just got to plug if before we dive into all this, because what you're really here for is like the sponsor reads and those types of things. So just a couple quick plugs. If you didn't catch out the first episode, we interviewed Bruce Hodges, Bruce Wayne 007, we call him, fresh off of saving 3 adolescents from a burning building.
It's an awesome episode.
And so, yeah, if you haven't listened to that, first of all, get your life together. Yeah. And go give that a listen, okay? And then I just got to give a quick shout out to our sponsor. I don't typically like to do this, but they offered us $10 million an episode. So I got a quick plug here. This is Artie Pants Magazine. Okay, you can go to www.artiepantsmagazine.com and you can subscribe to start receiving the Artie Pants Magazine. And I just got another quick plug here. I opened up the first page of this. Artie Pants Magazine is a paper portal that transports your mind, senses, and spirit to a place it already knows. And the first name listed here, editorial and design, Elise Dyment, happens to be your wife.
That is my wife.
So
yeah, she works on
she's
that.
crushing it too, all right? Artie Pants Magazine, get yourself a copy. And also a quick shout out to Poland Springs, okay? Not from Poland, not from a spring, but it tastes like both, Poland Spring. Anyway, diving into this episode, we got to get to know you, Steve Dyment. We're going to go, the purpose of this, I told you before the show. We wanted to let everybody get to know who you are just a little bit, share a little bit of your personal story and kind of where you came from, how you got into this solar space. And then we want to talk today, like this should be an incredibly valuable episode for anybody listening, whether you're inside of our organization or not. How do you build a sustainable, high output business in solar that works for you? It works with ease. You're somebody that has been producing so consistently, but you're not killing yourself to do it. Some people talk about this myth of like, it's such a grind, oh, the doors and this. I don't personally see it that way, and I know you don't. Otherwise, you wouldn't be doing this for 10 plus years. So,
yeah.
Steve, let's just to get a quick little background here. Why don't you share, where are you from? Tell a little bit about like your family background, like you got siblings. Like, let's just get
Yeah.
us up to speed on who you were before you became the legend that I know you as today.
No, I appreciate the build up. I don't know if it's fully deserved, but I appreciate it.
Don't discredit my words live.
It's
on the
fully deserved.
Thank you. I'm from Central Massachusetts, Leominster, home of the Blue Devils.
Oh,
so
love them.
Yep. I'm the oldest of 3, so I have a younger sister, 2 years younger than me, and younger brother. Yeah, I grew up in like pretty middle class, awesome family, like super close with my family still. Went to school, the Bryant University, Bulldog U.
Yeah, okay.
Went to school for marketing, so business marketing. What did I do after college? I worked at a couple tech companies as a product manager, sitting in a cubicle basically, responding to working with engineering and sales and helping develop those products. I had a friend, rest in peace. He's no longer here, but he worked at another solar company called Vivint Solar. So if you've been in solar for a while, you probably have heard of them.
Now acquired by Sunrun, so now Sunrun.
Now Sunrun, yeah. But he worked at Greg Revelle. He worked at Vivint Solar, and I was playing poker with him one night, and actually some of his Vivint Solar buddies.
Did you win?
I think I came home with some money. I think it was casino style, so like you could buy in, buy out, cash in, cash out.
Did you pay taxes on it?
Did not.
Sorry.
Please don't report me to the IRS.
I'm sorry.
But they were telling me what they were doing, and honestly, it seemed like a scam to me when they were explaining it, that they could sign people up for solar at no cost and people save money on their electric bill. I'm like, where's the catch here? They're like soft pitching me there. And months go by, they actually went to another solar company called Trinity Solar, and they started up the direct sales division at Trinity, and I was like one of the first employees there. So it was a big leap for me because I had never done sales before. I was used to a salary, 9 to 5. I get a paycheck every 2 weeks. I know what that paycheck is, the stability of that, and it was definitely a big leap for me. So that was back in 2015 when I started solar. So I quit my job. I'm like, actually, one thing that my father-in-law said to me before, when I was like pondering whether I should make this leap, this big like career change or not, was like, God hates cowards.
No,
I say that. So I say that to my kids sometimes. But yeah, I was like, might as well make the leap. What do I have to lose here? So I went all in. Back in 2015. I think Mark, you were in solar in 2015 at Solar City. Yeah, you remember that winter we had, and it was like nor'easter after nor'easter after nor'easter.
I think it was February. We must have had 4 or 5 feet of snow in a single month in February. I remember being so concerned. I was still pretty new to solar. I was thinking about all my customers' like systems and the snow load on top of them.
Oh yeah.
I was driving around town checking on them, making sure that like roofs
are not going to cave in.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I started in that January of 2015, and
great time to start.
Best time to start.
What a gauntlet to start in.
Yeah. And it was like, here's your door pitch, memorize that, and go out and knock on doors. And so I literally put on snow pants and boots, and that's what I did. So,
Steve, in your first 2 years there, you started in 2015. I think we linked up there. What, 2017 was it?
Yeah, 2017.
In your first 2 years, like what were you doing there? What was your volume like? How many installs did you have?
When I first started, we had a 2-step sales process. So we would sign someone up for, it was called the LOI, or a letter of intent, and then we'd have to go out basically within a week or two, and it was actually like 2 weeks or so with all that snow that we had that first winter, and then we'd get a design to go show the customer and hopefully sign them up for solar. But yeah, like first there's a big focus on just getting people interested, filling that funnel with LOIs, and then I'm like, oh, okay. I actually have to sign people up after this.
Sure.
So I was then focused on contracts and installs. But I think my first year, I probably did like, I don't know, 70 to 80 installs.
Wow.
And it was all really mostly door to door, because that was like what I knew. And that was like, okay, this is it. This is what I have to do. There were no leads, didn't really know much about referrals. But yeah, it was a grind, definitely. And solar was so new. So like it was a different time than it is now, but it was like, oh, what is this, when you were talking to people?
Mm-hmm. Well, I think it's important to highlight for anybody here, like how you pretty much everybody gets started in solar the same way. Unless they join with an already massive network, maybe having done network marketing in the past or something, they can kind of get by. But I oftentimes see those people that lean on that first, kind of go through their pipeline of potential deals, and then it starts to dry up and they fizzle out. Whereas like the foundation of winning in solar is, can I go outside and create business out of thin air? And so the first thing that you did was establish yourself as those are pretty elite numbers for a first year rookie. 80 installs, even if your mind is messing with you and you only did 70, that's still great for a first year rookie, especially all on the doors. So what did you start to learn, or like when did it start to turn from this is the only way to get business to referrals and like networking, and like when did that start to happen for you?
Yeah. So I mean, initially, like I thought door to door was the only way to get business. Like I was told by a mentor, Derek Landino, shout out to him, that like, hey, you have to go all in your first 3-4 months and you're going to get traction, you're going to get neighbors, all that stuff. But like even the neighbors and like the referrals that I was getting, I was going out and knocking on those doors and telling people like, hey, I spoke to your neighbors. I mean, I would get some referrals every now and then, but that wasn't my main funnel for getting business. I would say 5 years later, hearing another guy at Trinity in a different market. Shout out to Josh Rank. I think he's still in solar in Pennsylvania.
He runs a company himself in PA. I actually talked to him the other day. He's doing great.
Awesome.
Yeah,
heard him on a training that he had knocked like 5 doors in his career, and he was a number 1 installer at Trinity. So he did a training for us that all of his deals were coming from a few customers, and he had built out a super solid process for referrals and just making that a part of his process. I was certainly getting referrals, and a lot of my success in solar is just building trust. Homeowners, I think that a lot of them like me. They trust me. I set really good expectations and then deliver on those expectations. So I was naturally getting referrals, but that training and like hearing Josh Rank and his success and what he was doing, that like clicked for me that like there's another level to this.
Same here. Yeah. I remember that training, being on that training, and there was a major inflection point for me as well. I was like, oh, wow. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Got it. There's a whole nother universe of generating business in solar than what I initially thought. Yeah.
Well, it's funny because there's actually organizations in solar that frown upon getting business any other way than just knocking on doors.
It's crazy. Yeah.
There's like a fear that if another way happens, then you can't get everybody to go out and go. Like, I don't know what it is. I think it's irrational. But some of you may even, if you're listening right now, you're like in an organization where they like want you to shut up about how you're getting deals. It's like you're getting deals. Like it takes something to get deals. Okay. Whether they're a little easier to come by, whether they require you throwing your knuckles on a door or not.
Yeah.
You are still prospecting. You are still working. You are still generating the business. Let's double click on, Steve, as you were talking about like the first like referrals you were getting were like the neighbors of, I want to go back to that because I think there's an evolution there's like a career arc in solar where like you generate business on the doors and maybe get some people that you know.
Mm-hmm.
And that is not a huge pipeline of people that you know and own a home and have a qualifying roof and the proper sunlight to do it. Once you run through that, you're kind of left with what you can generate by knocking on doors and prospecting. Okay. And then all the first deals are hard.
Yeah.
Like you have no customers in the area. If you're name dropping, it's like, yeah, well, you probably know Mike and Joanne. I talked to them.
Yeah.
It's not like they're my customer, you know?
No, they don't have solar yet.
There's like a level of like how you can drop names and how effective you can be by like, you know, creating a sense of like belonging in the neighborhood where people feel like they can trust you. So, but I want to talk about like the first level, like, okay, I start getting deals by knocking on doors, and then I started like getting easier deals, which are the deals around the deals you already have.
Yeah.
And so let's talk about that, because I imagine that the bulk of your career from year 1, or call it the beginning of year 2 through the end of year 5, was like, that's where a ton of the juice was.
The way that I was trained and that I knew to go out and get deals was to work an area.
Mm-hmm.
So to make that town, those neighborhoods, I was probably working like 3 to 5 neighborhoods at a time, where depending on the time of the day and the demographics, I'd pop in to different areas and just keep going back to that area. And then certainly when you're working that area and after time, you sign people up, installs are going up, proof is happening, neighbors see solar going up, then you start getting more neighbors, and the social proof attracts those other people. They want to keep up with the Joneses, and okay, Mike did it. All right, he's a pretty smart guy.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I should actually look into this. Steve did knock on my door. Maybe I'll give him another shot. So like, really, I would say my first 3-4 years in solar, it was just really working neighborhoods, and every little ounce of meat on the bone in that neighborhood, I was getting.
That's awesome. It's like building a fire, you know? It's like you go and you get it lit.
Yep.
One day or over a course of a few days, and you get an install. Then you go back and it's like you add a log of wood to the fire, you know, and it gets a little bit bigger. And then you go back and it gets bigger. Yeah. And you see so often, you know, people go out and light a fire, you know, they get a sale.
Just walk away.
Yeah. And they walk away and they let the fire just burn out. And they go just try to light another little one in another.
Someone else walks into that neighborhood.
Oh, dude,
they're going to see that fire burning, and they're going to get the breadcrumbs from. Yeah.
And you were doing this in an age where, you know, from 2015 to 2019, you know, before homeowners were really as connected as they are today in neighborhoods, like through neighborhood apps and like through all of that. Like you had to organically, like grassroots, connect the dots in neighborhoods. You know,
definitely.
Do that mindfully.
Yeah, definitely.
I just want to like really hammer home the point that Steve just shared, which is there's so much gold in this. Stop chasing new turf.
Mm-hmm.
New turf will not yield more business. The same old turf over and over and over again will yield incredible results. There's an almost endless supply if you just stay tight. I see it all the time, even in our business, even no matter how many times you say it.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's wanting to bounce to a new town. They feel like if they talk to somebody, like, how do you approach somebody, Steve? So let's just help anybody out here that's listening. It's like, well, I feel like I need new turf.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I'm telling you, you don't. I say you don't.
Yeah.
Steve says you don't. Mark says you don't.
Yeah.
No.
But you still feel like, well, I feel like I need new turf. I already talked to everybody. How do you keep milking a turf that somebody new who doesn't understand what you understand might feel like is spent?
So I'm still working a turf like now, and it's a neighborhood in Bridgewater, Mass. That it's a new development. House has been going up over the last 3 years, and there's like phases to this.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, I need to plant my flag in here, because if I'm not going to be working this neighborhood, someone else is going to take advantage of it.
And if Steve finds anybody in that neighborhood, he knows the police department well, and he will have you arrested.
I mean, there have been some anonymous calls.
I bet you have customers too reach out to you, to like ones that you worked with for a long time, and they're like, hey, there's someone in your neighborhood here.
So the neighborhood that I'm working now, my realtor got me into that neighborhood. And I'm like, holy crap. Like there's 5 phases to this. There's like 200 houses that are going to be going up in the next like 5 years. I'm like, I am planting my flag in here. But yeah, he lets me know. He's like, hey, I've seen a Sunrun guy here the other day.
I'll be right over.
You're ready to get back in here.
Yeah.
All too often, we always think that like we have a bad hour on the doors that I don't know, people aren't home. You get some people in a bad mood that you're like, oh, I got to get out of this neighborhood. I got to go to a different town. And I can tell you that staying put is the solution.
Yeah. Well, how do you deal with, like, do you go back and talk to people that told you no?
Yeah, all the time.
So do you do something in that first interaction that like makes it feel okay to come back and talk to them later?
Yeah, like,
so how does that go? Like, can we role play for a second?
Sure.
So like you knock on the door and I say, hey, I'm not interested, buddy. Get off my lawn.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, I just want to come and introduce myself. I'm actually working with a few of your neighbors. So Mark, you probably saw he got solar installed. Yeah, no worries. I know you didn't know I was coming by today, but I will be in the neighborhood over the next few months. So just want to come and introduce myself. Yeah. So if someone's really turned off at first, I'm more so just introducing myself and like saying, hey, I planted my flag here. You're gonna see a lot of me.
Yeah.
So you basically you once you know that it's not moving anywhere, you then kind of fold that hand and play a new hand, which is like, dude, I'm just here to introduce myself.
Yeah, and
because I'm going to be here all the time.
That way, when I see Riley walking his dog in the neighborhood, I can wave to Riley and it's not awkward.
Yeah.
And this has happened many times where like you go back again and like, hey, Riley, we actually did a few more of your neighbors. You probably saw that now Jim and Joe got solar installed, and you're like, I've actually my bill's gone up. I've now been thinking about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, you don't want to burn that bridge initially, especially if you're going to be working in that area.
We talk about funnels all the time, right? You want to talk a little bit about funnels?
Sure.
So sales is a game of establishing marketing funnels. I think we could dispel the myth right now that like there is a very easy way to always get deals that doesn't cost any money and doesn't require any work or effort on your part. You don't have anything like that, do you?
No.
Okay.
Yes.
Just making sure, because if you did, I'm interested, as would everybody be. So dispelling the myth, there is no silver bullet. There is no like easy way that doesn't require any effort or any money or any investment of time or resources. But there are marketing funnels. And so this game is a game of marketing and then selling. And marketing is getting people interested, and then selling is getting them to say yes. We could kind of call it that.
Yeah.
And so when you're talking about marketing funnels, Steve, let's drill in just a little bit there and share with everybody, like, what are the best marketing funnels that you use today to run your business?
I mean, I still will go out and, like I was just talking about, work an area. So I will still go out.
And let's
door
just
to door.
establish this. That's the first one you said, because it's all reliable.
Yeah, I know if I go out on a Saturday that I'm probably going to set up 2 to 3 appointments, and probably one of those I think will eventually hit the roof.
So you can get a deal. You can print 50. If you just worked Saturdays, you're going to print 52 installs a year.
I mean, if the internet went away and no one talked to each other, I could still go out, knock on a door, and find someone that's interested enough to save money on their electric.
So that's all reliable.
Yeah.
You have enough of a customer base and a presence and social proof that like that's actually probably easier for you than it is for your average Joe. Your average Joe might feel like they're grinding a little bit more than you may have to, but that's something you earn. Like you got to earn your stripes.
There was definitely a grind to, I like when I first went into that new neighborhood, it's a grind.
Yeah.
Like you don't have social proof yet, but yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So, and how long ago did you go into that neighborhood?
I've been in that neighborhood, I think, since I've been at Boundless, so like 3 years. And I think I've got like 15 installs in there, and the neighborhood's still being built out. I went out on Saturday with a new hire in that neighborhood, and Saturday in the summer didn't really get a ton of people home, but we did set up a couple appointments in there.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So you went into it knowing like, all right, it's a new turf, it's a new place, my face isn't known here.
Yep.
It's going to be a grind, but you also never threw away the story that this place is a gold mine. So you're just like, of course it's hard the first day you're here. Of course, like the first couple are tough. Everyone after that, when it's next door to somebody you already got, or there's a little more proof, every one of those gets easier. Okay, door to door. So you go out, you knock doors, you work an area, you develop an area, and the more you work that area, the more developed it gets, the easier it gets. Open a new one. It's just an arc. There's just a story arc there. Harder to easier over the course of time, depending on how long you're in an area and how much success you have there. Okay, great. Number 2, what would you say the next best funnel is for you?
I mean, I would say the best funnel for me is referrals, building relationships, getting that homeowner to trust you, set really good expectations, take care of them, take them through the process, meet those expectations, and get them to like you enough that they want to refer you to their friends and their family.
Well, how does somebody like you get them to like you?
Yeah, it takes a lot, actually. No.
Well, dude, you had a training that you did a few days ago, which I loved, by the way. And you had a quote on there, and I think the quote was, the purpose of a business, any business, is to generate customers that create new customers or more customers.
Correct.
It's the purpose of any business.
Yeah.
And so I love that quote, and I love that focus, and it shows in what you're doing.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I'd love to spend a little time and break that down on how you create a good relationship with somebody and get them to like you and trust you enough to spread the word to their friends, family, neighbors, and the ways in which you help coach them to do that.
Yeah.
I would love to dive into that.
I want to break that into kind of 2 parts. One is like how you show up for them. I think that's important. And then the second is like how you work it. Because if you do a great job for somebody, that doesn't necessarily mean that they will refer you. You must do that first. And then there's like a kind of working that process, developing that, like you're still prospecting. Referrals are still a method of prospecting. So let's start with the foundation. You got to build a foundation of trust and credibility and likability. So can we just have like a sample customer? Why don't you just tell us, you don't have to tell us their name, but like just give us a customer and then tell us what that whole journey was like for them from the time you met until the time they were installed and PTO'd.
So yeah, actually a customer in that neighborhood comes to mind. So I actually knocked on her door. She had seen a lot of her neighbors doing it. I think it starts, and I talked about this the other day in my training, that it starts with being a rep that you want to do business with. I think being professional, dressing the part, being on time, being super personal, building rapport, all of those things. So like being a person that is likable, that they can trust, that they believe that they're going to be taken care of.
So you check the small boxes first.
Yeah, you want to check the small boxes
first.
first. You want, at the end of the day, they're buying electricity, right? Which is a commodity. But really, it is a lot in a lot of homeowners' minds. It's a big step for them to get solar installed on their house, but they're buying everything that you stand for and all of the trust and the credibility that you bring. So I think it's just the first step is being that person in the home, setting those expectations, and then delivering upon those.
Can we talk about some of the expectations?
Sure.
Like do's and don'ts with expectation setting for customers?
Even in the appointment, it's good to set the table to what you're going to talk about throughout the presentation and how that's going to go. So, hey, the homeowner that came to mind, knocked on her door, she's got to thinking like, oh yeah, we actually thought about solar. We saw a few people go solar. We just moved in a few months ago, so I don't have a huge bill. Get into the home. She brings up her bill. Cool. So you have your bill. I'm going to break down how your bill works and how you're getting electricity right now. I'm going to see if this does make sense to keep buying electricity, which you're doing now from the utility company, or pay less for your electricity. If it does make sense to pay less for your electricity, I'll take you through that process. We'll have to get you qualified, and then if it all makes sense, then we'll start the process and schedule your site survey. So I'm setting those expectations from the beginning about how the appointment is going to go, how the process is going to go, because people like to know what's going to happen before things happen. They don't like surprises.
There's also a sense of them being like, okay, cool, like the table is set. I know exactly what to expect and what's about to happen. And so they don't have any fear going into it if you set the table that way.
And then like afterwards, once it all does make sense, I think it's also setting the correct expectations, what's going to happen afterwards.
Because this is going to happen really quickly. Everything's perfect and it's going to get installed in about 3 days.
This is a construction project. Like things do take time, and we're in a market, or I work in a market in Massachusetts where there's a process and each town is not different. The utility company, sometimes it can be a pain to get their approval. So like setting the right expectations for whatever market you're in mine, it happens to be about 45 to 60 days that it takes for us to get permissions from the town, from the utility company. Afterwards, we'll schedule your installation. I'll be here for that. So, and then delivering upon that and actually showing up to your installation. After the installation, this is where I feel like I've seen a lot of homeowners that have gotten frustrated is their install happens. There's still some time from when they get installed to when they get turned on. If those expectations are not set for that homeowner, that, hey, it's going to take, it has to pass an inspection. Most states and most towns, an inspection has to be passed. And then also, the utility has to still give it permission to turn the system on, and they have to go out and typically swap out the meter. So that takes, in Massachusetts, about another month. That month, someone can go from like, oh, I'm super excited about solar, I got solar installed, that if they're waiting another month, they can become very grumpy, like, what is going on here? So setting those expectations from the beginning in the home, what is going to happen, and that this is a process, but I'm going to be here and I'm going to be with you throughout this process. And I've been here before. So just call me if you need anything, and I will be here for your install, and I'll keep you updated along the way as well.
Why do you think reps are afraid to set clear expectations that way? And is it an illusion?
I think they're afraid that it's going to mess up their sale in that moment. That, okay, if I let them know that this is a 3 to 4 month process, that homeowner might just say, oh no, like, I don't want to wait that long. Most people have never gotten solar before. They've been waiting their entire life to get solar.
Sure.
So they've been waiting longer than 3 to 4 months. But I think a lot of reps want to get in, get out, and they don't spend the extra 10 minutes laying exactly what's going to happen. So that I feel like setting the expectations builds a foundation of trust for your homeowner. And also, most people, I have signed up people who have gotten solar before on one house and another, but most people have never gotten solar before.
Sure.
So they don't know what to expect. So it's our job to clearly lay out those expectations so that we can take them on that journey and make sure that they have a good experience throughout that process.
I remember being new in sales and wanting to get a deal and feeling like it was so finicky.
Yeah.
Like it just, you teetered on the edge of having it or not having it. And every word there's a lot of anxiety, so shout out to every like new sales rep that's building the sales muscle.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think the difference is, Mark, you asked the question, like, why do people fail to set expectations? I think it's because they're a little bit scared that they might lose a deal, and they lack the confidence because they just don't have, like, you can fake confidence, fake it till you make it. You can fake confidence, but until you like really have it, it's hard to handle setting good expectations, or it's hard to handle, something that goes south.
Right.
Like I remember like the first deal, long time ago, I was working at Solar City in Tucson, Arizona, and I'm out of town. and my install's going on. And my customer calls me and she says, the installer flicked a cigarette and it burned down our fence. I just hung up the phone. No, I'm just kidding. I said, wrong number. No, I'm just kidding. No, but I was so just scared and like, I didn't know how to handle it. And, you know, I'm frantic and like 911, like I'm like calling everybody, calling my manager, like losing my mind. But, you know, I remember just learning in that process, you know, the next time I had something, because one out of every couple hundred jobs you could have an issue.
Yeah. I mean,
and now I deal with them with like, you know, if a customer gets escalated, I'll just pick up the phone and call them.
Yeah.
And what I'll tell them is I don't even know the answers to how we solve their problem. But what I've found is that if you just talk to somebody and say, hey, just want to let you know, I don't have a resolution. I don't know exactly when we're going to get a resolution, but I promise you, you will be taken care of. This is going to be a nuisance, but it's not going to be a financial burden. Okay. It is a nuisance. I want to address that, but like, I got you and we'll get it all sorted out. And they're okay after that.
Did they get a new fence?
Of course they got a new fence, dude. A beautiful fence, the best fence. I think I would say they turned out better than the old fence. So
win-win.
Really, you know, at the end of the day,
and a new fence.
So I started knocking doors looking for old fences that were burnable. No, I'm just kidding. So I think that's what it comes down to. Is like when you have the confidence to say like, well, this is what it is, or just answer a question clearly. Like there's a difference between, it's like, well, does the price go up? It's like, well, if you're doing a PPA, right? Let's say you're doing a PPA and it has a 2.9% escalator. Mm-hmm. Well, there's two answers to that question. It's like, well, so the price goes up every year. Yeah, it just goes up at 2.9%. That's how you answer the question factually and with confidence. And the other way is, yeah, but well, the utility price goes up like this. And like, if you start getting frantic, it's like, you could just answer questions confidently. You can just tell people facts and stand on it. And you have the confidence that your product's good. And they're probably going to say yes. And if they don't, somebody else is going to say yes. And like you lose one, no problem. But I think that's a muscle that comes. And so I just want to encourage everybody here to, if you're listening and trying to hone in your skills, like try walking back some of the additional verbiage you got to throw in to answer some questions. Sometimes a simple like yes or no just does the trick.
Yeah, I think the less words that you say sometimes hold more weight.
And there's
conviction. Yeah.
Yeah. And there's a distinction between like setting proper expectations and creating fear that something is going to take too long and it's taxing and whatever. And I think the distinction always, for me at least, has been like solar is so easy for you. Like I'll tell the customer that it's like, it's so easy for you, but let me let you in on what happens behind the scenes and how difficult it can be actually for the installer.
Yep.
All the red tape we got to cut through. There's the town. There's the AHJ's, authority having jurisdiction. There's permitting processes. There's like all this stuff that we got to go through, but I'll keep you in the loop the entire time, right? And so making them understand like, no, it's super easy for you, but this might take a little bit of time. There's actually a lot of nuance to getting a solar system installed. And there's some red tape to cut through, you know?
Right.
And if you can dial in that talk track, it's really simple. It takes like a minute to actually set really good expectations with a customer.
Yeah.
So we went down a good little rabbit hole here. If you're listening, the message is pretty simple. Set really good expectations and then deliver on those expectations. Be there. Show up for the install. I assume you're at almost every site survey.
Yes.
I'd be shocked if you missed the majority of them. I
do try to go to all my schedule gets a little hectic. So I do set the expectations that, hey, I might not be at your site survey, but I certainly will be there for the installation. And I'm in a texting relationship with most of my customers. So like we're texting throughout the process anyway, because there is that 30 to 60 day, especially in our market, gap that they're waiting for this thing to happen.
So then, okay, the foundation's established. People have to like you, trust you, want to introduce you to other people. And then there's like the farming aspect of it. So let's talk about that. I think if everybody's been listening and you've been on the edge of your chairs and it's like, if you're looking for a raise in solar, there's one coming. And so I would listen to Steve with eagerly take notes and listen to this. But so farming referrals, getting referrals is it's a sort of prospecting.
Yeah.
So how do you go about that effectively And I think most of your deals this year are probably from that. I would say, if you had to call it door knocking to referrals, what would you say? Is it 70% referral, 30% door knocking?
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how are you farming that? What do you do?
Yeah, I'm very intentional about it. So I've made that a part of my process. And the first thing you have to do is ask. I think framing the referrals is very important first. So bringing that up, I bring it up towards the beginning of my sale after I've kind of set the table on what's going to happen. And I say, hey, like most of my business actually comes from word of mouth and referrals. If it was a lead or if they were a referral, obviously that they know that because they were just referred by one of their friends. So most of my business comes from word of mouth and referrals. So we have a pretty awesome referral program. I'll kind of get into that at the end, but just wanted to let you know that. So kind of drop that at the beginning, and then towards the end, once you've gotten them to say yes and they're excited about solar. So okay, cool. Like I was wondering, Riley, are you able to help me out? Like I mentioned most of my business comes from word of mouth and referrals. Who else do you know that I could also help out? Because a lot of people's minds kind of go blank when you ask them that question. Who do you know? Like, I don't know. I know a lot of people, but I don't know.
Can we zoom in on something?
Sure.
Like, can you help me out? Like that little
I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah, were you?
And he even said, can you help me out? Who do you know that I can help?
Yeah.
And like
It's
asking for help.
Help me help somebody else. Yeah. Who do you know that I need some help? I could use help. And who do you know that could use help?
For sure.
Beautiful way to frame it.
Down? Can you break down like the psychology of that and just the connection you make with the homeowner there?
Yeah. I mean, people like helping people. I think there's a natural.
Not Mark. No, I'm just kidding. I'm joking.
No, Mark's one of the best people.
Yeah, I agree.
I feel
Continue.
like if yeah.
Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, please.
If I was broken down on the side of the road, Mark, if I call up Mark and say, hey, Mark, can you help me out? He'd be there in a second. So, yeah, I mean, people like helping people. That's in most people. So if you ask for that, they're inclined to say yes and want to help you out. So I think there's that, and that's like there's a psychology to this, like asking for help because people want to help people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So yeah.
The inverse of that, right, is to not pause and recognize that moment and ask them for help and make that connection first, and rather like, all right, we got an awesome referral program. Give me everybody you know. We'll pay you $500 a deal. And then you're like, well, I did such a good job. Why didn't they refer anybody to me?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You're selling them on like I think the art of sales, the art of like getting business and persuasion is like people want to feel pulled, not pushed.
Mm-hmm.
And so you want to create a sense of someone being pulled to do something. Like you got to create a desire for them to want to take that step, not a forceful shove in that direction. I've seen people try and get referrals in a forceful way. It's not organic. It's not going to yield fruit. It's not fertilizer. It's, weed killer.
Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of my referrals, even if I didn't, well, certainly, I recommend incentivizing your homeowners to refer their friends and their family as well. But like, if I didn't give them a dime, I think I would still get a lot of my business from referrals because people do like to help people. And like you said, it's pulling people, not pushing them.
Mm-hmm. So the first thing is you layer it in the beginning of your presentation. If your deal came from a door knock, or if you might work with somebody that's setting appointments and you're running one of those appointments that they set, you're going to come in and you're going to say, hey, I don't actually knock a lot of doors. I can do it like this. So I was just working in the area because we had business going on in the area, but most of my business comes from referrals and just people sharing, word of mouth. And so I'll get into our referral program at the end. But if I can help you out, I'd love your help as well. Mm-hmm. Then you go through your process, and then if they're doing this and they're moving forward, then you kind of take the next action. So you've set all the expectations, you've done your job, you laid the groundwork of I took care of them in their project. Now I move on to the next part of my sales process. I think this is a distinction: is the great ones in solar don't leave after they sold the deal. There's another sale to be made. And it's all, so you consider it all a part of the same process. And that's the distinction, is if you think this is a different thing, you're missing. It's not. There's one sales process all the way through, from setting expectations to on what's going to happen at this appointment, breaking down an electric bill, answering a couple of questions and objections, showing people how it all works, creating the desire for them to want to do this. They say yes, then continuing through that process of asking for help and asking for referrals. And so you get a lot of referrals that way. That's just asking. Let's go back to what you said. You said, if I ask them, who do you know that I can also help? That's a very broad question, and it might actually be too broad to the point where they're drawing blanks.
So yeah, I like to paint the picture of the type of person that they should be thinking about.
Yeah.
So you probably have a friend or a family member that's also complaining about their electric bill, that has a really high electric bill, especially during the summertime. Someone that has a pool, someone that drives an electric car, so that they can get to think about the type of person that they should be thinking about right now. I know your neighbor has the same house as you, same setup. What about him?
Yeah.
So like trying to put the type of person that they should be thinking about and that they would refer into their head, because a lot of times you're like, hey, who do you know? And they're like, I know a lot of people, but I don't know who I would ask about this.
Then you forget like the person you're talking to, isn't a career salesperson.
Yeah.
They're an electrician or a police officer. And it's like, they're not naturally wired or geared to go sell this for you or think about who it is that they want to go approach,
Yeah.
Yeah. There's an old, I think I got it from Tim Ferriss a long time ago, but the quote is, life rewards the specific ask and it punishes the vague request.
I've heard you say that before.
And I think, did I read it from Tim Ferriss or did I make it up? I can't remember. I'm sure I invented it. But anyway, yeah, that's what you're talking about right there, is specifically, who do you know that drives an electric car? Who do you know that has a swimming pool? Who do you know that has a big family, maybe with like a lot of teenage kids that are plugging in their devices, or like, hair dryers and curling irons and all that? Who do you know there? Who do you know that maybe has like an older home that might be leaking a lot of power? They're probably using a lot. Who do you know? So just being specific there, I think that's incredible.
Who are your closest friends that you talk to every day?
Yeah.
Like get them zoom in even further. Yeah.
I mean, what a great activity to just go on and on. That's a game for, team meeting game. Who can ask a novel question until somebody repeats the same question? That'd be a great little game in a meeting. Okay.
I like that.
That's a drill. There you go. So one thing I remember often happening is you ask them for referrals, but you can sense a little bit of resistance from them, of like, maybe they don't know what that entails. Like it might feel like they're kind of like feeding their friends and family to the wolves, so to speak.
Yeah.
So like, how do you set expectations for how you're going to go about making these connections?
Yeah. So, and I let them know, like, you don't have to hard sell them on this. Like, just letting them know, hey, like, I just met with Steve the other day. He's going to save me money on my electric bill and it didn't cost me anything. You should look into this. And then I tell them that I'll take it from there and I'll take them through the exact same process that I did with you. But people don't want to be hard selling their friends and their family and pushing them to do this. So if you let them know that, hey, that is not this. This is you just letting them know. And Steve's a great guy. He was honest. Like he took us through the process, answered all of our questions, and they don't have to hard sell their friends and their family. You're going to meet with them and you're going to take them through the same process that they felt comfortable and didn't feel pressured with you.
Yeah. Great. So you're setting expectations again about how you're going to approach their friends and family.
Yeah.
And how they can approach them. Next. So we're talking about referrals. Like, well, we talked about door knocking and now we're talking about referrals as another funnel. And we just went into one little aspect, I think, of referral business, in like word of mouth, referral based business. You ask at the point of sale.
Mm-hmm.
What else?
I also bring up at the point of sale because in 2025, most people are on social media. So most people have a Facebook. I mention to them after I talk about the type of people that they could be referring, cool, want me to help you out with this? And are you on Facebook? So I have them like, yeah, 90% of the population I think is on Facebook now. So cool.
Shout out Zuck.
Yep. Cool. Friend me on Facebook. Want me to help you out with this? So all you have to do now is post something small. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. Is excited to get solar installed on my house. Not going to be paying anything out of pocket for it. And thanks for helping me out, Steve. And certainly you can post this now, a picture of your design. You can post this at installation or even after you get installed, a picture of your electric bill. But if you tag me in that post, I'm going to reach out to all of your Facebook friends that comment or like or show interest, and I'm going to take care of them. So shout out to Josh Rank. Like this is what he was doing for years at Trinity. And I'm like, what is he doing? He was the top rep doing this.
So I want to zoom in on a couple of things there. Can you make this post and tag me in it? Right, is what you're saying to them. I see all the time. I mean, everybody in solar's on social media, on Facebook. They're posting about their business. They're posting like, "Hey, electric rates are going up," right? Like on their own page and on their own stuff. And so, what is the effect of if I'm your customer, I make the post, and I'm like, "Hey, I'm lowering my power bill. Super excited. These bills have been outrageous. I'm working with @Steve Dyment." And then sending that out to my network, like what's the distinction there and what's the impact that's made versus me just posting something and tagging my customer in it or me just posting on my own page?
Yeah, I think there's so much marketing going on, like when you go online, that we're almost becoming immune to it. So like you see all the time of someone marketing their landscaping business or marketing this or marketing that, and you just kind of scroll right through. But if someone is recommending someone else, it's like, oh, okay. Turns your head a little bit. Yeah. Like Mark's a good friend of mine. He makes a post that, oh, he's getting solar installed. Okay, Mark's a pretty smart guy. I trust what he thinks and what he says. Maybe I should look into this.
Yeah.
Versus you just see a solar guy posting like electric rates are going up. You should look into this with me, call me at this number, blah, blah, blah. It's like, just kind of scroll right through.
Well, I think too, the distinction is fundamentally when you post, it shows up on the feeds of the people who follow you, basically. Like people that are connected to you. And it doesn't really, especially Facebook, it's not going to show up anywhere else. If I make a post and I tag Mark in that post, it's going to show up to everybody that follows me and a few people that follow Mark.
But you're exposing me to your network.
But I'm exposing you to my network.
Yeah, exactly.
So when you post and tag your customer, it only shows up really to the people that are already following you, which there's probably a lot of people in solar. So really all you're doing is posting your customer up there for somebody to hit them up and be like, you want a second bid? But when they post and they tag you, what happens is their entire network sees it. People that you are not connected to are seeing this marketing. And when they like or comment on it because you were tagged in that post, you are getting a notification on your phone. And so there's all of this new, fresh business that you're unconnected to that now all of a sudden you're fully connected to. And actually you have the power of this technology that's literally telling you the sentiment of the people around your new customer.
Yeah.
I know you shared in the team meeting the other day, people's comments, and then, oh, you know what, we've been thinking about it. And then boom, you in their DMs like, hey, it's me, Steve, that was tagging that post. I saw this, like, love to chat. And then boom, next thing you know, you got another deal. It's like, wow. The power of, you coming in, doing a great job for somebody, having them feel pulled to do this, having them feel pulled to creating the environment where they feel pulled and free to like help you, help others. You then leverage the technology to have a massive audience. And like that's a cheat code. There's a cheat code here. And we see it in our business with lots of our salespeople, and you rank the highest of anybody doing this and really just doing, pure volume. But this is working. It's working in a big way. And I'd love to see, I don't want to give away our secrets, but at the same time, like it's a big world out there. There's plenty of business for everybody. So everybody should be doing this.
Yeah, everyone should be doing this.
I want to go back to the beginning of this podcast, right? Where we're like, what's in the water, Steve? And you're like, well, I'm extremely intentional about what I do. It's like, why do anything if there's no intent behind it, or if you're not intentional about the results that you're actually going for? And what I love about what you do with this, right? Some people might be hearing this right now and say, oh, all I need to do is get my customer to post and tag me, and then magic's going to happen, and people are just going to reach out to me, and they're just going to flood my inbox, and they're going to say, hey, can you come over to my house? And it ain't even just that. And what I love, I heard from you recently, you're like, well, I see who even likes the post, and I go through one by one and see who even likes my customer's post. And if I'm not friends with them, I literally send them a friend request, and I friend request literally everybody that likes the post. Yeah. And then if somebody doesn't respond to a comment that I respond to, I literally delete my comment and I re-comment again 2 days later to make sure that they saw it. And so the intention, man, that goes into this is incredible. And it doesn't take a tremendous amount of effort. It's just being mindful about like when you need to pull what lever and when you need to tap in and communicate. And really just you cast a wide net in your customer's network. So it's so much more than them just posting and tagging you in it. You take that and then you curate it and you make sure that you are as connected as possible with their network.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
How much time does that take? And walk us through that.
Years, no. No, honestly, it doesn't take that much time at all. It's like you were talking about, just being intentional, making this a part of your process. And then like, okay, John made a Facebook post. I need to go check in on that. And I need to I get excited. I use social media for only two things really, like posting about my own personal life, my family and stuff, and then solar. So I'm only going on there really for that purposes. There's a lot of noise on there anyway. So when I log into Facebook and I see that someone made a post, I'm checking it pretty frequently to see what's going on with that. Yeah, but you had mentioned about this is like a cheat code. Like a lot of us this is stuff that everyone can be doing. Not that I want, especially reps at competitors, to be doing this better than we are doing, but there's enough homes, there's enough people that don't have solar that if we're doing these things, it's an easy way to get business.
Well, the good news is most of our competitors, I know we have, I don't know, I think it was up to a gazillion listeners on the last episode. And with you being here, you're such there's so much fanfare around your episode. But it's a great secret. We've shared this internally with hundreds, maybe thousands of salespeople. They don't all do it. Yeah. You can here you go. Here's what you do. Do this. It's going to yield results. It's yielded Steve Dyment 70% referral business for the last 5 years, 500 some odd installs over that 5-year period, and with ease. He's still working. Steve goes to work every day. I think we're kind of running a little low on time here.
I have just one.
We don't have to end. I'm just kind of signaling. I'm just signaling that we're probably going to start winding down, but if there's stuff we want to get to, let's get to it. And then we'll wrap this thing up. But I mean, so far, I think there's just been an absolute gold mine or a treasure trove of nuggets for everybody listening. So I appreciate that. And it's sick of you to share that freely with, everybody within our organization that's probably going to listen to this podcast. And then everybody outside of our organization that we made this podcast. We call it the signal because what we're doing is we're sending out a signal. Not everybody in sales or in business or in solar or whatever belongs with our group. Not to say it's not you or us. It's just it's maybe not a fit, but some people might be in a place where they don't feel like they belong, and if they can catch a piece of this signal and realize that, like, oh, I vibe with what's going on there. That's why we made this. We made this to share great stuff internally, but also people on the outside that are looking for an incredible place to be. I firmly believe into the depths of my soul that this is the best model for solar. There is not a better model. If you're selling solar in the United States of America right now and you're not doing it with us, I personally believe that you're missing out on some things. And so that's why we made this podcast. And Steve Dyment is a testament to, one, like, you're no fool. You know a good deal when you see one. You know how the business works. You know how the solar industry works. And you know what every competitor's quotes look like because you've seen them all. How does it feel, Steve, to know that when you walk into a home, if it really just came down to dollars and cents, do you ever lose?
No. No.
It's a good feeling.
It's I mean, working with Boundless and Freedom, like we can walk into a home and there's another deal on the table, and like, yeah,
it's a bad day to be another quote. All right, Marcus, you had a couple more things you wanted to dive into. Let's do it.
Yeah, just going back to the social media posts and Facebook posts and all that, I'm convinced, right? Like Riley was saying, you were saying, we've talked about this before. In fact, for years, right?
Yeah.
And maybe not with as much context as we're going through now. So I'm super excited about this and to get this out to everybody. But we've talked about this, and I'm convinced that here's what happens. A new rep is like, oh, cool, I just got 2 or 3 customers, my first customers. I'm going to go do this with them. And they do it, and they might get one customer to post and tag them in it, and the results actually don't come from this one customer, this first customer, right? And so they're like, I guess this just doesn't work for anyone but Steve, or it doesn't work for me. And then they stop, right? And so my question to you, man, is do you get 100% results from every customer that you get to do this?
It's casting a wide net. Someone that has 30 friends on Facebook, they make a post, you might not get some results from that, but someone that has 1,500 friends on Facebook,
right,
you're going to get some comments. You're going to get probably a few people from that, but you don't stop doing it. You do it every single
process.
time. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's part of your process.
Got it.
It doesn't always work. Funny story is I went out to California when we opened up in California, and I did this training with everybody. And I said, like, this is not another thing. This is the thing. Like, it's a part of the sales process. And then I go out with, shout out, another OG, Landon Fernelius. I go out with Landon, and we start knocking. First door he knocks on. We go inside.
Of course.
We go through the whole process. They sign up, nice PPA deal with a battery. And as Landon's kind of, working through the tech part of it, I'd start telling this story. And I start telling the story about, how we have customers that I'm like, do you have Facebook? Yeah, I've got a customer the other day. They made a Facebook post, and a couple people they knew were already thinking about solar, and they chimed in, and then boom, that led to a couple referrals. And we actually, kick you a little money for the referral. And so if you're interested, I'd help you make a post. And again, I just trained on this in the meeting. So now I'm like, I have to do this. I kind of put myself on the spot. So we do it. She hands me her phone. She's like, why don't you make it? Which we do. And I'm like, well, let's do a selfie. So we do a selfie. We take the picture. I make the caption. She lets me like write her post for her. And then we post it. And now we're friends, and she tags me and Landon. And then I go and look at the post later, and she's not big on Facebook. She had 15 friends. And not a single comment, not a single like, nothing. And so, no, it doesn't always work. But you can almost always get, like, how often do you get to the result of they're posting a something on Facebook on your behalf? What percentage of the time?
I mean, most people are on Facebook. Most people, some people want to wait until they see, until solar happens for them. And actually a better time to post is when the install happens. Bingo. And also like afterwards, after the install happens, and when the proof is in their electric bill that they're actually saving that money. So those are better times to post. So following up on those posts after. But yeah, I mean, if I would say probably half the time, like people are like you're asking them for help, telling them about Facebook and like an easy way for them to refer their friends and family, and they make that post, and then I'd probably say half the time it yields results. But like it's doing it every single time, because you might have someone that has 15 friends and gets no comments or likes, but then that person that uses Facebook nonstop and they've got 2,000 friends and connections, and they make a post that is super impactful, you might get 5, 6 people from that, and then you get them to pay more posts.
Yeah, I think the mental rabbit hole, a rep will go down is like, well, it only works half the time apparently, so I'm just going to do it half as much. And then all of a sudden it's like, well, 25% of it, and then they're like, I might as well just fizzle this out or forget about it altogether.
Yeah. So we heard it from Steve. 50% of the time it works every time.
Yep,
every time.
So that's pretty good stats. Steve, what else? As we start winding down here, what else would you say to anybody listening to this thing, either within our organization or outside of our organization? What message would you like to leave with everybody?
I love working with Boundless. Like,
he's doing an infomercial plug.
Yeah.
So hey, I love it.
Like, Boundless just has great people. Solar as an industry just makes complete sense. We're in an energy crisis. I mean, Riley said this many times, more and more electricity that we're using. The fossil fuels and where we've been getting our electricity, that's not forever. So we need another cheaper, cleaner source of power. So solar makes complete sense. And I love working with you guys. Like, Boundless is just good people. We care about people that are not in our organization. Like, come check us out. Like, come talk to us. Solar's been life-changing for me. Like, honestly, like, if I'd stayed the path of the 9 to 5, like, I look back sometimes and like, hey, what if I never made the leap and never got into solar? Maybe I move up and I was a director or this or whatever, stayed in product management, stayed in tech. Like,
according to your father-in-law, God would have hated you.
Yeah. But no, solar has opened so many doors for me, and like definitely changed my life and my family's life, and super grateful for the industry and just, I mean, Boundless as well. So shout out, and definitely check us out if you're just stumbling upon this podcast and like maybe in another sales industry or thought about solar. Like, solar is a great industry to be in, and Boundless, like, there's no other company I'd be at other than Boundless. So
that's pretty good.
Thanks, Steve.
Yeah, thanks, man. We're glad to have you. Grateful to have you. I think, Mark, any final words before we close out? Do you want to do a whole nother infomercial?
No, I just appreciate these moments. I appreciate being able to sit down with you, Steve, and just get to hear, like how the sausage is made, and like how, I mean, I think a lot of people have heard about you and have heard your name for so long, right? Steve Dyment, he's got 700, 800 installs, 900 installs, and it's really special to be able to sit down and pick your brain and actually get this information out to the masses. And everybody listening here, I want you to understand the substance of this conversation and what Steve's delivering here for you guys. It's we said it's a cheat code a little bit, and it's like, but no, it requires effort and it requires hard work. And it's just awesome to me that everybody listening can actually see behind the curtain and really how much effort goes into this and how much intention behind what you do, right? And like what's required there. And so I appreciate you, man. This has been a really cool time getting to hear from you. So thank you.
Yeah, it's been great. Steve Dyment, one of the best in the biz, here with Mark Featherstone, co-hosting today once again. Quick plug, Artie Pants magazine. If you don't got it, I don't know. I think Steve's father-in-law would have something to say about that. Okay. Get the magazine. And Steve Dyment, thank you so much. This has been The Signal, episode 2. I think our like and subscribe button it could actually be at max capacity. We should have got the extended warranty on that button because it's been used a lot. But if it's still there, go ahead and click it, I guess. And I don't really care. We're just here. If you listen to this podcast, you just got some value. So Stevie D, Dyment, Dallas Page in the building. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time.